Hello, welcome to HC1377, American Theology in the 20th Century. I am Jennifer Horniak-Wojciechowski, your instructor for this course, but please feel free to call me Dr. W. Wojciechowski is difficult to say and even harder to spell, so just Dr. W is fine. In this video, I'm going to go over some basics of the course, your books, syllabus, expectations, and a little bit about me. First, I wanted to say I'm very excited that you are with me this semester. I like teaching this course. It's a little bit different from some of the other classes I teach. I get to try my hand at teaching theology a little bit, which is pretty fun. All right, which brings me to my first point. What exactly is this course? If you notice, the title says theology, but the course number says history. Well, it is both. Up on the screen, I have the course description. It is a study of religious thinkers in American culture and society, especially during the tumultuous period between 1935 and 1970. Special attention is given to the critical examination of the liberal tradition in American politics and religious thought. This is a course essentially on the history of thought. We will explore how society and theology influence each other throughout the 20th century. Now, you've probably noticed at Luther, maybe, that history and theology are actually one department. That is because there is a lot of overlap in the two fields, and this course really is a blending of these two fields. I am a historian, however, with the possible exception of The Long Loneliness, which is more of a memoir, all of the books you are reading are works of theology, okay? In this class, you will get to read these works of theology while exploring the historic context, all right? Culture influences theology, and theology influences culture, and we are really going to kind of focus on that intersection. Let me tell you a little bit about myself before I go into kind of syllabus, books, all that sort of stuff. As I mentioned earlier, I am a historian. At Luther, I teach both history surveys and a few electives. Obviously, this is included in those electives. My main scholarship areas are women's history, American history, modern, and I really like studying the intersection of religion and social reform. About me personally, it's harder to get to know your professors when we are all online, so I threw up a couple of pictures. This is where my desk is currently residing at my house. I keep moving things around, trying to find a quiet spot. So that is potentially where I'll be grading your papers. In the middle, I have a picture of my family. I think that was last year when we were in Chicago. And then finally, my tabby cat there on the end. All right, let's talk about books first before I pull up the syllabus. Okay, so these are the 5 main books we are reading this semester. We are going to start out with Dorothy Day's The Long Loneliness. This is a memoir. Dorothy Day was the co-founder of the Catholic worker movement. She was very involved in kind of labor rights. So I think you'll really find it interesting. Her life kind of spans the 20th century. So you get a lot of interesting highlights. She was a nurse during the flu epidemic. She's part of the books during the Depression. So you get a lot of history through this, while also getting kind of her conversion story and what her faith meant to her, all that kind of stuff. Then we're going to look at Reinhold Niebuhr's Moral Man and Immoral Society. I apologize for the dated language. It was written in the 1930s. You're going to notice that this book is very, very political. It's a really important read. He's very, very influential to a lot of other kind of scholars in the 20th century. I personally enjoy the book. It's a little drier than some of the other ones, but give it a chance. I think you'll like it. We have James Cone's Martin and Malcolm in America. When I first was picking up this class, I had this big debate whether I was going to have you read Black Theology, Black Power, or Martin and Malcolm in America. I opted for this one because you get this great kind of history of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, a look into civil rights while also getting kind of Cone's theology. All right. Then we have The Essential Writings by Abraham Joshua Heschel. And this is a different book from the other ones in that it's kind of a compilation of different writings curated by his daughter. Heschel was a professor of Jewish mysticism. And I think you're really going to like this book. Students typically relate to this very well. And then finally, we have Gaia and God by Rosemary Radford Ruther, which is a work of ecofeminism. Kind of a fun end book here for this semester. All right, here is the syllabus. Obviously, you can read through this on your own, and I do encourage you to do that. But let me highlight a few things here. Obviously, here's my contact information. Probably the quickest way is just to shoot me an email. I try to respond within 24 hours to all emails. I am holding Zoom office hours on Tuesday mornings at 10:30. If this time doesn't work, just send me an email and we can set up something by appointment, either or on Zoom or by the phone, okay? I'm generally around this semester, okay? In addition to the textbooks, we do have one e-reserve reading that is on the Moodle page, okay? So you'll find, in fact, I think it's already up. This is all kind of standard language. All right, course evaluations. I am having you do a personal introduction. I know some of you don't love it, but it really does help me, especially with all of us being online. It's just super quick, one-page, informal essay, okay? You can include anything that is important and you'd like to share with me. Please include something that you're like excited about for the class, or if you're nervous about something in the class, let me know. Or also let me know if there's any kind of current challenges that you're facing. Like, I personally have my kids home this semester. That is a challenge that I'm facing. So feel free to include that if you'd like. It's just simply so I can get to know you better. I know some of you I've had in class before. You do not have to reintroduce yourself to me. I will remember you. Just tell me if there's something that you're particularly interested in or nervous or challenges. Okay, so that is right away. And then you're going to have 6 discussion posts, and I'll get to that in a second. And then you're going to have a final paper also worth 60 points. I have all of the expectations written out in the syllabus already. We can talk about this a little later. Email me if you have questions. But it's essentially a 4-part essay examining one of the theology texts that we read for this semester. I had designed this assignment because I wasn't sure what our library access would be this semester. So you should be able to do everything without being able to go to the library. Okay, so you're going to pick one theology book. You're going to have in part 1, a deeper engagement with the text. In the second part, you're going to kind of dive into the context of the book. How is the author engaging with the outside world, culture, etc. And then you're going to find outside critique of the text. Okay, so a great place to do this would be going to the ETLA database on the Luther Seminary website and finding some secondary literature, either about the book you read or about the theologian who wrote it. Okay. And then the 4th part is a personal reaction to the text. All right, this is how you felt about it, how it influences you, your faith, everything like that. So we're looking at about 7 to 8 pages on that. Online discussion. I'm not having you do it every week. I'm having you post 6 times. Okay, I go into a lot of detail on expectations in here. You're going to post on weeks 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, and 10. I even have a little helpful chart for you to think about when things are posted and everything like that. On the small group weeks, you can meet with your group on Zoom, take notes, and send it to me, and that will count as your discussion points, okay? So once you read through this, if you have any questions, just let me know, all right? I have general guidelines, etiquette, all that stuff. And then here, I'm going to host 2 optional class-wide Zoom meetups. When I taught this class over the summer, one bit of feedback I got was that students wish that they could have had a little more interaction with me, a little bit more interaction with their classmates. Of course, this is a fully online class, so I can't require this. However, I'm going to kind of make it an optional meetup. All right, this has no impact on your grade whatsoever. It is simply if you would like to come and have discussion with me and your classmates together, that I just want to provide a space for this dialogue. If you are interested, I have the dates posted here already, so just keep that in mind. I did it on Mondays because it seemed like there weren't many other classes that day. I looked up the schedule. All right, and then here I have our schedule for the semester. For every discussion, I have the questions already, so you can go into the book with the discussion questions for the forum in your mind. All right, so every week it's here and it's on the Moodle page. All right, your final essay is due December 21st, so that is probably a date you want to keep in mind. All right, and here's our Moodle page. You've probably been on here already. Right at the top here, I have a link to my office hours. So if you want to come talk to me on Tuesday mornings, just click on that link and I'll be there. All right, and then every week I will have kind of a label with what needs to happen for that week, and then any videos or any assignments below that. One thing I want to point out is sometimes you'll find something under additional resource. This is always something that's entirely optional. It's just something I think you might find interesting that relates to the topic, that you can either dive into now or just make note of and then look at it someday when you have more time on your hands. All right. One last thing, expect emails from me on Monday mornings. All right. In the emails, I will sometimes respond to like discussions that you've had. I will list any assignments that are due, any expectations, or just any general announcements for the week. All right, I will wrap this video up. If you have any questions, let me know. I am here and available and ready to talk with you. All right, thank you everybody, and I'm looking forward to a great semester.